Here's a story about Gautama Buddha, the founder of Buddhism. Once upon a time, in ancient India, there lived a prince named Siddhartha. He was born into a royal family and led a sheltered life within the palace walls. Siddhartha had everything one could desire: wealth, luxury, and a loving family. However, despite having all these material comforts, he felt a deep sense of dissatisfaction and curiosity about the world outside the palace. One day, Siddhartha decided to venture outside the palace grounds accompanied by his charioteer. As he stepped out, he encountered an old man, frail and weak. Siddhartha was astonished to witness the suffering and decay that old age brought. This encounter deeply troubled him, as he realized that even his own youthful and privileged life would eventually succumb to the same fate. Determined to seek answers to the questions that arose within him, Siddhartha continued his journey. Along the way, he encountered a sick man, afflicted by disease and pain. This sight shook him further, as he realized the universality of suffering. Siddhartha realized that no matter one's wealth or status, everyone was subject to physical ailments and suffering. The prince's encounters did not end there. He came across a funeral procession, where he saw the lifeless body of a deceased person being carried for cremation. Witnessing death for the first time, Siddhartha was deeply moved and realized the impermanence and fragility of life. These experiences led him to question the purpose and meaning of existence. Driven by his quest for understanding, Siddhartha decided to renounce his life as a prince. He left behind his kingdom, his wife, and his newborn son, and embarked on a spiritual journey as a wandering ascetic. Siddhartha sought wisdom from various renowned teachers and practiced extreme forms of self-denial, including fasting and prolonged meditation. Despite his efforts, he found no lasting solution to the problem of suffering. Eventually, Siddhartha realized that extreme austerity was not the path to enlightenment. He abandoned his ascetic practices and turned towards a middle way, seeking a balanced approach to spiritual realization. Under a Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, Siddhartha entered deep meditation, vowing not to rise until he had found the truth. After spending days and nights in meditation, Siddhartha finally attained enlightenment and became the Buddha, which means, the awakened one. He had discovered the Four Noble Truths: the truth of suffering, the truth of the origin of suffering, the truth of the cessation of suffering, and the truth of the path to the cessation of suffering. For the rest of his life, Buddha traveled throughout India, teaching his insights and spreading the Dharma, the teachings of Buddhism. He preached compassion, mindfulness, and the practice of ethical living as means to overcome suffering and attain inner peace. Many people were inspired by his teachings and became his followers. Gautama Buddha's teachings continue to be revered and practiced by millions of people around the world. His life story serves as an inspiration to seekers of truth and enlightenment, reminding us of the potential for awakening that exists within each of us.